Hi everyone, this is speech number 3 for our 3-point speeches for Comm 101. Public speaking is a skill that everyone should want to improve. It doesn't have to be reserved for people that are going to a career where public speaking is excruciatingly important. It's not reserved for people going into politics or politicians or anything like that. Public speaking and just having skills and having confidence in yourself can improve your chances of getting the job you want. It can make you sound more confident when just speaking to people in general or speaking to people in your job field in general. And honestly, the most important thing for me is it makes you okay to be in uncomfortable situations, which I think is a great skill to have. The information I'm providing today is important for everyone to have because having some understanding of it can benefit life in general. As I've said before, I've had quite a few years of practicing and giving speeches in middle school and high school. During that time, I failed so many times, but I was also taught that when you make mistakes, you learn best from making the mistakes because you know exactly where to improve. I have a lot of experience with communicating in general, and I'm majoring in it and also transferring to get my bachelor's in it as well. I thought that all the videos this week gave great information and advice to be a better speaker, but for this assignment's purpose, I'm focusing on listening, particularly when talking about poor listening habits, organizing the body of an informative speech, and vocal variety. We as humans spend 40 to 70% of our communicating time listening. Some of the things from this video I thought was most important is the portion about poor listening habits. Some poor listening habits that are common amongst most people are pseudo-listening, which is when a person is appearing to be listening, but actually faking it. So they're not absorbing anything that they are saying, basically. Selective listening is when you're listening to someone talking to you, but you choose what to actually focus on from what they're saying. So maybe they have an opinion that you do or you don't agree with, or even parts of what they are saying are just more important to you or not. The last one I'm focusing on is superficial listening. This is when the person is talking about something you're not aware or not very educated about, and that can cause you to not be able to fully absorb it in a conversational setting. It might be more beneficial in a teaching setting, but when you're just having a casual conversation, it's not likely you'll be able to absorb most of what they're saying. I've always had issues with listening. I get distracted pretty easily, and I've had some pretty bad ADHD throughout my life. That being said, I've made a lot of improvements, and I think communication and public speaking in general has helped me improve that. Having something to fidget with while still being able to provide eye contact is one of the most important things to me. I used to doodle to keep my hands occupied, but I actually learned that can make it look like you're not paying attention what the teacher's saying. Like, I was completely listening, but to them it seemed like what they were saying wasn't important, and I completely understand where they're coming from now. I started finding something that I can just fidget with while making eye contact, and that seems to be more beneficial to me. The next point I'm going to discuss with you guys is organizing the body of an informative speech. I've written a few informative speeches over the years, and in organizing them is always the harder part for me. This video provided so many important points on improving organization for an informative speech, but I'm focusing on main point organization. So your speech is likely going to have 3 main points, and you're going to start with stating your main point and then providing an explanation in your own words about your topic sentence. You want to avoid saying the next point I'm going to talk about is, and then at this point you're going to explain this point as a whole in your own words. So usually it's about a paragraph or so, and then you want to provide research to support your main point and make sure that you're citing where you got this information appropriately. To finish this main point off, you're going to explain the research that you provided in your own words, and if it's appropriate, explain why it's relevant to your designated audience at this point. The next video I watched was about vocal variety. This is a part of public speaking that I'm not as familiar about. We didn't really learn this when I was in middle school and high school in the way that it was taught here. We were just taught, like, oh, make sure that you don't sound monotone, but this one gave much more examples about it. This video taught us how to use your voice to gear towards your audience and ultimately engage them in a better way. So it taught us every everyone has a different voice, but you have the ability to train it to be even better. A lot of the times nerves can cause people's voices to change, but some techniques are changing the pitch of your voice from low to high and vice versa, changing the speed of your voice, making one sentence fast-paced, and then the next slower pace can be really beneficial. Adding in pauses to allow your audience to absorb what you're saying. Your goal as a speaker is to play around with all these tips and tricks in different environments to allow you to be comfortable and confident in what you're saying. Practicing these tips, reading or presenting about something that is boring is a great way to practice because you won't always be presenting on things that are exciting to you. So if you're comfortable in both situations, that'll be more beneficial for you. To wrap things up, in my presentation today, we discussed a few different ways to spice up your speech, giving and communication skills as a whole, learning to be a better listener by avoiding poor listening habits, learning to organize the main points of an informative speech, and finally, how to improve your vocal variety when presenting are all very important skills on paper, but beneficial overall to overall better communication skills. Thank you.